Mark Coleman, definitely not in the bee yard, just sitting and working on some new gear that I have for queen rearing. That is the queen rearing method by reinsertion. So there's a couple of methods that you can use. This is one that I had bought. It's got a little cup. The cup would have fitted into something similar to that. And then that would fasten onto the frame. These little black goodies on the frame. That would go on top, and then that would go inside there. And principally, you'd look for the larvae down in the bottom of that cup. Unfortunately, these methods are not uniform, and equipment from one supplier doesn't necessarily fit with another supplier. So I've had to modify this to accept these little cups. This is the reinsertion method. So this is graft-free queen rearing. Cool. Get that out the way. Well, that's obviously for introducing the queen. That has a cover on the back, some honey spill there. This honey is actually from the hive that I'm going to put it into, and I've put the honey in to make it more attractive for the bees. And when we put the bees in, they can move into this area. And these are the little cups. Now, that is not what they lay, what the queen is going to lay the egg into. The queen is actually going to lay the egg on that end. It's actually got like a little dimple. And that's inserted in the back. So those are inserted in over there. That'll go on top. It's closed. Give the bees some time to get into there and basically just make it bee friendly. Good idea to have one of these. You don't really need one, but it does help with determining where you are in your breeding cycle. I have seen some evidence to indicate the bees may actually move eggs out of one cell into another spare cell. That's why I'm not allowing any foundation in the sides. This is fastened on, it'll be on its own. And initially there's not going to be, the bees are not going to have any ability to get to the back. They're going to be able to get in here, clean this thing up, remove the honey that's in there, get the bee smell, the hive smell all over it. Obviously when the queen goes in, that'll be closed. Then the queen will be trapped inside here. As soon as she lays eggs, and as soon as I have enough, then what you do is carefully pull that. And it's got another little cap that fits over the top. So that's got to fit really carefully to make the cup. It seems awfully complicated, but in any case. And then that slides into there. We have another frame, and then that would slide onto there. Took me a while to figure out how these blooming things work. I'm going to get out to the bee yard shortly and introduce all of this into the hive I'm going to use. These three boxes, exactly the same place. One on the left hand side is doing exceptionally well compared to the other two. The other two are not doing badly. The problems though, the plastic hive, new plas, its name is Titan, has done really, really well. The other two hives started out in really full boxes. Neither of those queens did well over the winter. What I've tried to do is create a performance matrix for each hive. The performance matrix has 7 characteristics that I'm looking at. The characteristics are honey production, laying pattern, level of aggression, population, ability to overwinter, swarming tendencies, and each is given a score. Then we have a percentage that is worked out. So a hive that is particularly calm, may be calm because it has a really poorly productive queen and there's very few bees inside of that. Both of those hives are quite calm. Unfortunately also, both of those hives are producing large numbers of swarm cells. Don't want that. In any case, if anybody is interested, leave a comment and I will post something about creating a performance matrix. Performance matrices are very useful when you're dealing with more than one desirable trait. One of the things I want to do is I want to maintain a level of diversity. The queen in the nucleus box I'm going to keep. The queen in the box with honey super, that's doing exceptionally well. I'm going to use her and I'm going to requeen, even though those two queens are doing well, I'm going to requeen one of those boxes, and so that we have a comparison. Those are going to remain the same. The one on the right hand side I will use for grafting at a later stage. I'm going to hold on to the Italian queen because the Italian is completely new. The queen in the yellow top box was one that I bred myself from my original queen. It's doing really, really well. So consider that when you buy in a queen, you may be lucky and get a queen that is suitable to your area or suitable for your area. Remember, there is a difference between genotype and phenotype. So genotype is the actual genetics. Phenotype is the expression of that set of genetics in an environment. And the queen that I have there in the yellow topped hive has done really, really well. She's very, very productive. Definitely the best queen that I have in the yard. But that's based on her overwintering ability. She may be a little bit, her offspring may be a little bit more aggressive. The Italian queen, absolutely new, hasn't been here for a year yet. The brood chamber is doing really, really well, but not productive when it comes to honey, although that might change. I need to put some items in the top of that box over there, get those bees used to what's going on there, and I might just start finding that by finding the queen down here. This hive, the bee coverage is actually quite poor because that nucleus hive has 8 full frames. This has 3 frames, it's a mixture of brood and honey, 1 frame that they're drawing on, and I've actually given them an open frame and they're not doing particularly well on that. In any case, I have caught the queen and she is going to be replaced. I don't know why the queen would be so different, but in any case, hopefully with some of the genetics in my area, we'll get an improved situation here. I have the 2 frames that I'd like to put into this hive. I'm putting this onto the cooler side. And the bees seem to be more productive on this side than on the other side. Right. They're already getting into there. Awesome. Slide that in there. Done. Screen cover. Now some people might go, hang on a second, there's a queen excluded down there. You also didn't catch the queen and put her in that box. I want the bees to move around, basically get the hive smell all over it, and then we can worry about them accepting it. The queen's going to be way more accepting of that box and way more likely to lay in it if the workers have been in there and cleaned it up. That's also why I put some honey on. It comes actually pre-prepared with wax on.